Hey everyone, welcome to the Connecting Greeks podcast. I am Ari and I am here with my two very lovely co-hosts. Let me introduce, I don't want to say who's lovelier or who's not, so let me just introduce by alphabetical order. Stamos, I think, comes before Tarus. All right, so we go Foti Stamos. How are you, Foti?
I'm great. How are you, brother?
I am very good, very good. And alphabetically after you is the main man himself, Angelo Tsarouchas. What's up, Angelo?
I don't know. Is my head filling up the screen? Maybe, how am I supposed to do it? You know, 40 knows a lot of people. Did you know that? He has to shake a lot of hands. I didn't know that. I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited about our guest today. She's really nice. Unlike you two, no comment.
I gotta say that thanks to the fact that we're hanging out all the time and creating such great energy and vibes, it makes me want to drink. And what better than to have tonight's guest when it comes to drinks?
Ah, very good segue, Foti. I like
That's
that.
good, Forty.
Angelo, you wanna bring on our
No,
guest, our lovely
is,
guest?
she's an artist.
Yes.
Okay, she's worked hard at this. An artist and entrepreneur, which I think is I admire her. She's created a vodka line called Tina's Planet Vodka.
Yes.
Organic vodka. And I saw it when I was at the Anna Visi show, that a big feature on it. She's also a musician, songwriter, pursuing the dream like a lot of us here in La La Land. Welcome to Connecting Greeks, Tina Karras. Welcome, Tina. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
It
So,
is
Tina,
a pleasure.
we want to know right away, for you, we have a similar story. We both came to LA with dreams. Yours seemed to have worked out better than mine. We both attend from time to time St. Sophia Cathedral. What we did because we're good Greeks. You're from North Carolina, I understand.
Yeah, from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, which I've been to many times. I myself from Canada. And Charlotte's great. I love your accent because you speak a little Greek with a little. No, I get the same thing here because they go, "Oh, you're from Canada." We could hear the A and the out and about, whatever the thing is. But it's cool. So, but Tina, your story is interesting, very interesting, because you came out to pursue your singing career, and then you stumbled onto something else.
Yeah.
Which is, and that's the Spartan side of her, by the way. Just so we know, her mom's from Sparta and her dad's from Patmos. The Spartan side. No.
My dad is from Sparta.
Oh, your dad's from Sparta.
Yes, and my mom's family, my mom's Greek American, but her father was from Patmos, and then her mother's side of the family was from Sparta.
From Sparta, okay.
So I'm like 3/4 Spartan, 1/4 Patmos.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that's a good mix. The artistic part probably comes from Patmos, because the Spartan part, Tina, is our motto is, if we don't understand something, let's kill it. That's Sparti, which is the Ozarks of Greece. And if any Spartiatas are listening, I don't want to get hate mail. You and I both know that was, ask the Persian army what happened to them when they got mouthy with Sparti. They paid dearly for it.
Yeah.
But what happened? So Tina, tell us. We want to know, like, what was it? Like, what you just said, like me, stupid, not stupid. I mean, we just thought, hey, we're going to go to LA because that's where you go, LA or New York. What happened?
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of, thank you for reminding me of the DNA, because it does come through and I'm like, I have a temper. And I'm like, oh, wait. Hold on.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, so I was in high school, and then I just decided that I want to pursue music as a career. So I already got accepted to UNC-Chapel Hill in Tar Heel, and then I jumped into the music degree, and I backed it up with like RTVMP, radio, TV, and radio music production. Sorry. And then I actually just became a classical guitarist through that. And I really fell in love with what the guitar is, because it's kind of like the piano where there's multiple voices. So like, when you're playing guitar, I'm not just strumming. I literally am playing multiple lines. There's a bass, there's a soprano, and the alto in the middle. So it was really great to learn that in such a, collegiate area because I got to learn everything, the history, the theory. And it was such a great experience to do that, to learn everything about music. And then, graduated. And then now what? Who's going to hire me as a 22-year-old to write music? So I went back to Charlotte trying to figure out what to do. And, I grew up in a restaurant, of course. I was washing dishes at 8 years old. And, that was a lot of fun. And then, every
We've all been
weekend,
there.
yeah, making pizzas on the weekends and everything. And so then I was trying to figure out what to do next. And I ended up going to a Suzuki guitar teacher training class in Los Angeles. And the week I was here, there was a huge Carolina event. So I went to that and ran into people I've known who were out here before me. And so they drove me around all of LA, showed me everything, and really encouraged me to move out here. And so I did a month later with literally 2 suitcases and a guitar, because my dad's like, you are not driving. We'll ship your car, because it is a long drive.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, it's
And not necessarily safe.
Yeah, exactly. Especially by yourself. And,
Right.
I came out here with like a 12-year-old tourist that probably would not have made the trip.
yeah.
So then I get here, and then my car, of course, takes like a month to get here. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. And I ended up bartending and waitressing and pursuing music. And so I started doing open mic nights, things like that. And this is back before, this is in the late 90s, early 2000s. Social media was not what it was. People were still going out to see music locally like that. The world was LA was very different back then. It was really, you could be a struggling artist and live a good life. Like my rent was like $600 a month by myself. Even, adjusting for inflation, that's like $900 now. So there's no way, I don't think I could have done that now.
Now, Tina, let me ask you,
Yeah.
before the first time you came to LA, had you ever come out here before that?
No, never.
Oh, so first time. So it's
Yeah.
not, I grew up I'm born from Montreal and grew up in Ottawa. Ottawa and Charlotte are similar. Then you come to LA, it takes you by jet airplane 20 minutes just to fly over the city.
I know.
That's how big it is.
Totally.
And you need a car in LA. You need a car. The public transportation sucks here.
Yeah,
And
totally.
so interestingly, but I have to say, because as a comic, when I moved to Toronto to make the transition, I know a lot of guys had a hard time getting side jobs. But when you're Greek, you're automatically trained in about 8 different positions by the age of 12.
Yeah.
So you go to any place, and I remember even going. My dad had a burger restaurant, and I could walk in and do that. We knew sales, we knew marketing, because we worked in that thing. Do you find that I notice a lot of performers that come. St. Sophia is pretty much the Hollywood church. They don't like to be called that, but it is, because that's pretty much where they go. But regardless, do you find the Greek background gives you more courage? It's like your dad said, I'm going to ship your car. He didn't say to you, don't go, don't do it. He said, okay, you can go, but I'm going to ship your car to you because I'm worried about you being, and it's true, driving across America is a shit show. You don't know what you're going to encounter. But at the same time, do you find that? And I think I can say this for all Greeks. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. But do you find that we have that instinct, the survival instinct, wherever we go? And we did inherit that. That's one of the great traits we inherit. Because my dad would say to me, okay, you want to be a comic, be a comic, be a good comic. Like, don't make them laugh, but don't make them laugh at you.
Yeah.
And I think Greeks have that pride, like your dad. And I like what you said. That tells me
If you're gonna do it right.
Do it right. And the thing is, it's ingrained in us, but we also have a survival instinct. Not everybody, she's from North Carolina, go literally from one coast to the other coast to a place you've never been and pursue a career. That's the bigger part of the courage. That to me is bigger than how many people have told you, I've always wanted to do this. Why didn't you do it? What did you wait for?
Mm-hmm.
So I applaud you for that. But my question to you now, and all of you, is do you find that we have a survival instinct? You put a Greek anywhere. I met them in Alaska. I just went to Alaska and I ran into Greeks, like in Juneau, Alaska. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? But they were there. But Do you find that? Because I mean, it's so weird.
No, I agree, because for me, it just seemed like, yeah, let's just do it. And, my grandfather, the one from Patmos, he and his brother came over. They were in shipping, and they just docked I think in North Carolina somewhere. They went all over the coast, and they just never got back on the boat because there was not many opportunities, and they just figured it out. And then he married my grandmother, who was born here, and became a citizen. And then my dad, same thing. He came over from Sparta and went through Ellis Island, the whole thing. And I think it is just like, let me just go and just throw myself into this unknown adventure. So I feel like it was part of my DNA. It wasn't uncommon. That's the stories I always heard. So to me, it was kind of normal. Like, this is just what you do. You figure out something, you just go for it. And granted, it was not easy. When I got here, it's like I think I had my one foot out of LA for a while, because it is, when I first visited, I felt like it was very much like Charlotte, because it's just big and not as big, obviously, but unorganized. And I'm like, I can do this. It felt good, because actually I went to New York right after I graduated, and I loved it. I wanted to live in New York, but I'm like, I don't know if I can handle that winter. And I felt like if I moved out there with the friends I knew, I probably would have never pursued the songwriting. I would have just gotten a job and just been in the grind to pay rent. In California, especially at that time, was like the potential of anything you want to do, just come out here and just do it. The artistic energies here, it's very open to anything. Like, you can literally create anything you want out here. The atmosphere is very conducive to that.
Well, you were saying before, so you got a side job, to support your dream. And so just tell us, how did that lead to where you are now? So was it a straight path to music? The audience may not know this. We know this. You are doing something else as an entrepreneur, and I kind of want to hear how the path led you here now to where you are. So you were doing a side hustle. You were waitressing, bartending, and then what happened?
And then I started temping, working in the industry a little bit, but it doesn't pay very well, and I didn't have much time. So that's why I went back into the bartending and waitressing, because you make so much more money so much faster. And I'm like, I didn't want to work in an office, been making my first temp job was $10 an hour, like after taxes. I think my check was $300 a week. Like, it's ridiculous. And actually going back to, the St. Sophia, while I was there, a woman who I grew up with, her cousins, her second cousins in Charlotte, and she heard I was from Charlotte. I grew up with them, and actually I stayed with her for, Tina Karras?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So I stayed with them for like 3 months when I first moved here. She's like, come stay with me. And I'm like, what?
Okay, God. So hold it right there. Hear what she just said. I will move. Her second cousin knew someone in Charlotte. Now, Tina, you come stay with me. How long? Stay. Who else does that?
Awesome.
No one.
And Tina, it's funny you say that, because when I moved to Toronto the first time up in Canada, couldn't find an apartment. And a Greek lady had an apartment in this house that she was renting out. And there must have been 70 people there. So I went up to her, and she said to me, what's your name? I go, Angelo Tsaroukas. She goes, you Greek? I said, yes. And she goes, Mila Selinika? I go, yeah, I do. She says to me in Greek, Pas in Ecclesia. I go, nah. She goes, no, if I went to church. I go, yeah, I do. I go to church whenever I can. I'm okay. She goes to me, I'm going to give you the apartment, but let those guys go through. You can leave. And true to her word, it's the network. And what Tina just said, she comes to California, goes St. Sophia, somebody knows somebody, they see her, they see she's a nice person. Well, you crash at my place and we'll work it out.
Awesome.
Totally. Yeah.
I mean,
and I had no idea it was like a mansion in Brentwood too, by the way. So that was a bonus.
And you're staying in Brentwood, and you're doing but you see, that is the philotimo. And that's, we always push it on the show sometimes about connecting Greeks.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is about it, you're a great example of connecting Greeks.
Mm-hmm.
Because here you are, North Carolina, you go to church, somebody knows somebody that you know that they know. Oh, well, we have this big house. Why don't you come stay with us for, We'll adopt you. We'll feed you. Don't worry about it. You're Greek.
Yeah. Oh, the first thing she did the night I got there, she made me a feta omelet. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. What a nice lady.
Wow.
But
I
think
love
about
this
it,
story.
that because that is integral into your story, right? I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
because those are the things that help you along the way. And you don't forget those people. I'll
No.
never forget those people that were there to help you.
Yeah.
And that's why I think in a lot of ways, I'll pay it forward, or if something ever arose one day that you can help somebody like that, you're gonna help them because somebody helped you that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any Greek, any Tar Heel. I'm like, what can I help you with? Even if just getting you tickets to a show or whatever, let me show you around LA. Cause it's a daunting city. It's so big. And I was going to the St. Sophia every Sunday, and it was how I met people. It's how I kind of acclimated to the city. And some of those people are still my friends today. A lot of people moved away since then, but everyone, like you're saying, that's where everybody is, a Hollywood thing.
Hollywood
And,
thing. You go
yeah,
there.
So
Yes.
you're staying with this person, and so where is your musical dream going at this point?
It's not really going anywhere because I'm just working. And that's when I was temping full time at a record label, which was good. You know, it's in the industry. I'm learning and I'm seeing things and figuring things out. And so, yeah, I stayed there for about 3 months and then eventually got my own place. And that's when I realized I need to make changes because I'm not doing anything that I want to do. I need to have more time to write and to practice. So then I moved to Venice and had like a studio apartment and just kept playing and writing on my free time. I was bartending. I didn't really know how to bartend. I just kind of faked it and learned as I went. And this is right after they banned smoking, thank God. I could have handled that. So I just did restaurant bartending and started playing open mics and just getting better and better and figuring it out. Cause it is, you're paying rent and everything's, networking and doing that whole thing. And then, so one time I was playing a show, a coffee shop, and the guy occasionally rents out the Roxy Theater. And so he's like, would you want to come and do the Roxy show? And I'm like, of course. And so the Greeks were always my best audience too. Like I would pass out my flyers after, the coffee hour or any Bible study. And the Greeks were always, in my audience, very supportive. Nice. And that was huge. That was nice to walk in and have an audience and, instead of just, it's a lot to ask people to pay to park, come out on their free time, And so then I played at the Roxy and that was great. It was a wonderful experience. And then I called them to maybe book another show directly with them. So while I was there in the office, and I've had a lot of these fluke things come into my life where I feel like, even though it's been difficult, like there were always, crumbs leading me along the way to where things were working in my favor. So I'm sitting in the office. This is back before computers were really a thing. Like you had to call in and give your credit card over the phone to buy tickets. So they're slammed. There's only one person in the office. Everybody left for some reason. I'm sitting there waiting for the talent buyer. And the main talent buyer turns to me and is like, hey, would you want a job like working part-time answering phones? Can you start right now? And so, which after working there for a while, I realized that never happened. It was very meant to be in that moment. So I literally started working at the Roxy, and that's kind of how I started really working in entertainment. So I was bartending still full time, and then I was coming in during the day, working in the box office, doing production things, doing whatever they needed, floating around and learning more and more about the music industry. And I got to perform there a few more times. Sorry, my cat is back. She has something to say. So that's how the Roxy came into my life. And then soon after I became the owner's assistant, he started working with bands that got signed to major labels. So next thing I know, I'm talking to all the labels and I met a ton of people. I learned a lot. This is also a different time in music where it was a lot of that angry rap rock. I was trying to do demos myself and little cassette tapes, and they weren't really coming out great. And I still just kept performing and doing my thing. And then soon after that, the Roxy, sorry. She likes to sing too. So with the Golden Voice subleased the Roxy, and then they brought in Best Beverage Catering. And so Best Beverage is who I work for now, and we're the concessionaire for music venues and festivals. And so that's where I got even more buying power. And at the Roxy, when I was the buyer, everybody wanted to be there because it's the Roxy Theater. So
now tell everybody the importance of the Roxy, Tina, because that's a historical
Yeah.
The Doors played there. I think Motley Crue played there.
Everybody
mean,
played there. Yes.
Everybody played
Yeah,
the
right
Rainbow
next-
Room,
Yes.
the
right next
Go-Go,
door.
the Roxy in
Yeah.
LA on the legendary Sunset Strip. And you also have A Night at the Roxy, which I think the
That was
comedy
at the
movie was based.
Roxbury. No,
Oh,
it's at
that's the
Roxbury.
Roxbury.
Yes.
That's in LA too, right?
Yeah, it's down the street, but it's gone now.
Right. That's gone. So I get that mixed up. The Roxbury and then but the Roxy is still alive and kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even people like myself who have never been to LA, like have nothing to do with LA. I mean, we are all very familiar with all of these names because
Right.
you can't follow pop culture in America and not know these names.
Yeah.
These are like iconic.
Yeah, no, actually I skipped a step. So I became the buyer for the alcohol and doing special events. And that's when I really developed, all the relationships I had. And then when the takeover came, then I started working statewide. But yeah, the Roxy was a great experience. I got to see Depeche Mode there.
Wow.
U2,
Very
Sting,
cool. Wow.
Billy Joel. Oh, it was, and it's such a small room and it has such a great sound. You feel like you're there's not a bad seat in the house. It's like
Yeah,
you're
it's
sitting in
intimate.
your living room.
Yeah.
So it's a very intimate room, and they would have gigantic acts. Like I saw Rage Against the Machine there. I mean, and everybody plays there, and it's a wonderful, wonderful room. The building's over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Huge history there. And Lou Adler's the owner, and he created Rocky. He, turned Rocky Horror Picture Show into a film. It was at the Roxy where they did the first initial American run for that play. Oh, another thing. What's his name? Pee Wee Herman, that HBO special that broke his career was
Right.
at
The Roxy. That's
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's
No,
a
the
lot
place-
of history there.
That place is I've been there a few times, and you don't know, like you said, U2, Billy Joel. I mean, these these are bands that fill up stadiums
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then you get to see them at the Roxy. It's like the Troubadour. When
Yeah.
Elton John, when they made the movie, he got his break at the Troubadour.
Yeah.
That's
It's
not
that kind of
West
To
room.
hear it's so
Oh,
cool
yeah.
to hear all this because, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a complete outsider. But I've seen enough movies, watched enough TV shows, seen enough documentaries where these are like these fantastical places that really exist. But in my mind, it's like this like amazing, legendary fantasy world. But it's real. It's true. Like watching the Doors movie and like just thinking of being like there at that time and watching them there and like all these
Fantastic.
amazing.
No, just walking down the street, there's Slash, there's John Lennon. Like I wish I was there during the 60s and 70s when it was like that. But yeah,
Imagine
same
you see
thing.
there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I was actually working the box office the night there was this big showcase thing, and it was when Linkin Park got signed. It was like when they were
Wow.
breaking. And I remember hearing them, and the next thing you know, they're
Yeah.
exploded across the country. So it's a legendary place, but it's such a wonderful room. The sound is always good and the view is always good, even if you're at the very back of the room.
There's no bad place
there's
to
no bad
watch a
place.
show.
Yeah, exactly.
So from there, Tina, because that's a great description of that venue, which is legendary venue in the world of music anywhere. What gave you this idea for Tina's Planet
Okay.
Vodka?
Yes. We call it Tina's. We call it Tina's Vodka. Tina's Planet Vodka is the full trademark name. And I got the
I like
planet.
that.
Yeah, because I'm from the earth and I give back to the earth with my charity partner. So yeah, after being, everyone being at the legendary Roxy Theater, being the buyer, everybody wanted to be there. So I'm being pitched on every brand, every whiskey, tequila, everything you can imagine. And then it got even bigger when I started working with Best Beverage because we're across the whole country. I mean, the country, and mostly my job was over the state of California, but we have such buying power. And so just after trial and error and just seeing that, there's most of the vodkas made in America are full of GMO source, which GMO is not, it's even just about the seed, but it's also about the horrific pesticides that go along with the GMO and what it does to our soil and our crops. And
tell people what GMO stands for.
Genetically modified organisms.
Right.
And so what people I don't think realize is that the organisms the DNA of those organisms kept being modified so it could actually survive being sprayed with these pesticides.
Yeah.
So they kept changing the DNA until it would stop dying. So imagine what that's doing to your body, that if it can withstand pesticides, how is your body going to break it down? Does it even recognize it as food? And I know there's a lot of controversy about this, and there's a lot of lobbyists about it. And people are saying
there's really not a lot of controversy. There's a lot of lying on the
there's a
behalf
lot
of
of
the audience, but I personally do not know of any controversy because facts are facts. And one of the big issues of our days today is that people are just not accepting of facts or ignoring facts. It's a fact. So no controversy. This is real. This is real. What you are saying is true.
I'm with you on that. And that's it. I think there's a lot of paid articles out there saying, no, there's no link to this. It's like they're wearing hazmat suits while they're spraying the food you're going to eat. What do you think that's going to do to your stomach? That's just common sense. Come on. Like,
Well, you also think that the rate of cancer and of Alzheimer's and dementia are the highest.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. And yeah, everybody's unhealthy. And like when we were kids, we ate everything. Like I ate sausage, grits, butter, lard. No one was fat. No one was unhealthy. We were outside all the time too. And we're also Spartan. So.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I like the way you're connecting, the arts and with nutrition. And the reality is, you've seen on 60 Minutes, Ikaria, the island Ikaria, which is in the Ionian side, has per capita the most amount of centurions in the world live there, because everything they eat is what they call here a natural diet or organic. In Greece, it's called Tuesday.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
And they have the tomatoes from the garden and the oregano, and they say in the horiover, and it's funny why Greek yogurt became so, because of the proprieties and and all the antibodies it has in it. And it's funny how people want to adopt a Mediterranean diet, and that's why when you look at people in those places, right, they live so long. So it's funny how I think we're starting to see it, and I think it's in the same with your product, is that you're saying, look, I'm going to make this product, but I'm going to do it in a way where you can enjoy it, but it's not going to be as detrimental to your health as other things possibly could be.
And I just want to say very quickly, Tina, that I, as a younger man, I used to drink responsibly, but I used to be drunk like 3-4 times a week. So I swore off of vodka because I would just feel miserable after. I couldn't do it. Vodka just was like, it was something I loved when I was younger. Wrote it off. Fast forward, we meet you, we talk about your product. Forte is like, yeah, it's really good. You're gonna try it. You send us product. I have a tasting with like family and friends and neighbors and everybody. I end up, getting real social and, putting them back and back and back. And I could have run a marathon the next morning. And it just goes to show me that this product, because I've drank a lot of other vodkas and I just feel like hell, Tito's or I can't even mention like all of it, but like felt like hell. And this is the God's honest truth. I drank a lot one night of your vodka and I could have woken up and run a marathon. I felt perfect. So it just went to show for me that it was like, this is like a clean drink. This is great. If I'm going to drink, this is what I want to drink.
Sweet. I'm going to put that on loop. Can you send that to me? My Instagram feed.
So we know now.
Exactly. Well, that's part of why I was tasted on everything. And the European brands are better, but the American brands, there's so much cheating going on, or just, a lot of the crop is GMO. So
and they don't need to disclose it, right?
You don't have to disclose it. No.
And that's a big problem because a lot of these big brands really have a lot of crap in their stuff.
Totally. And there's additives after. So after the distillation, you can add sugar, glycerin, high fructose corn syrup, food coloring. And if you stay under a certain threshold, you don't have to put it on the label. So that was a big thing to me, because I read every label. I care about how I feel. I care about my health. I feel like health is number one. And if you're going to have alcohol, have a good one and have it be clean. It's literally, my vodka is organic, non-GMO corn spirit and water. That's it. No additives, nothing. And that's why when you woke up the next day, you're like, hey, this is great. It's because it shouldn't, because what you're reacting to a lot of times is the additives. And the glyphosate I always get that glyphosate or glyphosate. I kind of mix it up, but it can survive the distillation process. And that's how powerful that pesticide is. And if you don't want that in your food, why would you want it in your drinks? Yeah. And also, when you buy alcohol that is made from GMO sources, you are giving your money to those type of farming, and you're perpetuating pesticides in our food chain. And it's not good for anyone. It's in the soil. It's killing us. It's killing the soil, kills everything. And that's why during the pandemic lockdowns, I saw the film Kiss the Ground, which is about regenerative agriculture. And it's part of how I became a partner with them, because I was so moved and inspired by the film, because it's all about the soil health, because all the microorganisms they talk about now, everybody's talking about our gut health. The microbiome is everything. And if that's out of whack, nothing can work well. Everything can be corrected once that is corrected too. So they talk about how intelligent the planet is and how it knows what to do with the microorganisms, with the carbon, the nitrogen. It knows where to send it in which plant gets it, how the soil disperses everything. It's so intelligent, but when it's covered with pesticides, it can't do any of that, and it turns into dirt. And then you have, the Dust Bowl, you have runoff, you have all these fires, because there's not anything holding down the soil's not resilient. And then you're going to put that into your body. So there's literally deplete of any vitamins. You're just eating filler. You're not getting any type of healthy bacteria or anything you need. So it's this vicious cycle. And I know it's a vodka, but 40% of the corn grown in this country goes to making spirits. And if everybody in the spirits industry was like, we want non-GMO corn, think of the impact that would have on the climate. Huge. And how much better all the biosequestration, where it brings the CO2 back into the ground where it belongs, and then it feeds everything in the soil. And so going to that, my Greekness, I have Athena's owl on the tree Earth, and that is about the female ownership. No offense.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah,
women are smarter,
I think it's great. My
why? Because if it takes a female owner to do what's right by the environment, do what's right for the product, more power to you. I don't whoever abides by these rules. And you probably could make a whole lot more money if you bypass a lot of the stuff that you're doing. But it's because you care about the product, you care about what you're doing, you care about the environment. And that is something that every, not just entrepreneur, but every big corporation, everybody should be doing it.
Yeah.
How realistic is it? I don't know, but you're doing it, and we applaud you for that.
But Tina, you made me think, you say, because the woman, I keep thinking of the dad in Big Fat Greek Wedding. Didn't I say is a mistake to educate women? And that was so, but Nia Vardalos, because she made that film, when she put that in, she took a misogynistic or chauvinistic attitude of Greek men,
the old school,
turned it around.
Yeah.
Remember, the mother said, yes, the man may be the head, but the woman is the neck, and the neck controls the head.
Yeah. Totally. Well, I think that's also being Spartan too. They educated the women.
Well, that's it.
2,000 years ago. And I have two sisters, so we were all women. So and my dad, and both my parents, my mom's a Tar Heel also. She went to Carolina. They were very big. My dad's like, you're going to college. That was the thing. He was like, doing this. And
you got to go.
Yeah.
That's great. It's a remarkable, the fact that you're so knowledgeable about your product. You sold all of us on it. And whoever's going to listen today, if you haven't learned something today, then you're a tuvlo, because she spelled it out for you and said, look, man, this is Tina's Planet Vodka is have fun, enjoy, and live longer doing it. putting
Yeah.
all this crap in our body. And I agree because, we're eating all kinds of scut out of it. It's just,
Oh, yeah.
we don't even know what the hell we're eating half the time. And I think what happens, especially in America now, everything's made for taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for taste.
And
this-
everything's
this
mass
is good.
produced.
It tastes
And in
good,
order to mass produce something and keep the taste consistent, you have to fill it up with a bunch of horrible things. And
Shut up.
that's what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that's true,
And
yeah.
it's unnecessary though, but it is even like when we were kids, I'm Gen X, proudly Gen X. And, we had real food. It was like in the 80s when it really got bad and it just kind of came in under the radar. We didn't even know. And the next thing you know, everybody's got these health issues that are just never existed before. And,
Yes.
and I think that's what people are getting wise to. And that was another thing with my vodka. Yeah, I could make a GMO corn vodka and it would be probably a quarter of the price.
Yeah.
But I really wanted, this is how I eat, and this is what I want to put out into the world. And I want to support the farmers who grow corn this way. And I want to give back to farmers. So like when you see the film Kiss the Ground, they talk about how regeneration is, going to fix everything. And, during the pandemic, we saw how quickly the earth can fix things when we get out of the way. And I would like to go to a farmer in the Midwest or anywhere in the country and be like, Tina's Vodka will buy you whatever equipment you need to get off of the pesticide, get off the GMOs. Let's buy you the proper plow, whatever soil, whatever you need. I want to help do that because the effects of that are just exponential. And I want clean water. I want clean food. I want to be healthy. And also to that, I want it to taste good. Like Vodka and I talked about this a lot. There's a lot of non-GMO and organic vodkas, but they're not tasty. Like a few are awful. So we took an extra step with the vodka though.
So a very quick side note, a professional, a person in the industry had a blind taste test with 7 industry people, and all 7, again, this is God honest truth, all 7 chose your vodka as the best tasting vodka in a blind taste test.
Nice. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Well, we
Oh,
definitely need to send Angelo, so we need to get his. connected.
I'm down the street from you. I'll bring you some tomorrow.
All
yeah.
right. That's awesome.
Angela, it's amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you. You know who has it? The Great Greek. Dionisi brought it in.
Dionisi, I'm very good friends with Dionisi.
Love him. So
And Dobrin, his Bulgarian manager, the other guy, Dobrin.
okay.
And I've been going there for years. Love the Great Greek. The
Yes,
Great
so
Greek
great.
is tops. Yeah, Dionisi's super good guy.
Great guy. Yeah, I was just there over the weekend. We had dinner and he always is great to see with the music. And he's like, you here for the vodka? I'm like, of course, and your food. So so actually what we did with my vodka to take it an extra step is after the distillation process, we filter it through a proprietary system that involves organic coconut shells, and it takes out every impurity. So that's why the next day you felt so great, because all that extra stuff was gone. It's literally just organic spirit and water. And
you could say whatever you want. I believe you, but after I drank a lot of your vodka, I was like, I am so screwed tomorrow. How am I going to get any work done? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? I woke up and I was just raring to go. I was like, what is happening? This is amazing.
Yes. And I think that is priceless. So my bottle usually retails, by the time it gets to a store, it's around 28, 29, 30. I've seen stores charge 38, some 25. That's up to them. But if you pay $5, $10 more and you feel like that the next day, I say it's worth every penny.
It's worth it.
Well, I don't want
100%.
to speak for you, but I just want to say, if the $5 for everything this vodka represents, for everything this vodka does, if the $5 is going to bother you, then just keep moving, please. And sorry, I'm not speaking on your behalf, but that's my opinion.
No, I agree, because I put my money where my mouth is. I'm an official partner with Kiss the Ground. I'm listed on their website, and I've already given them, 10% of what I've grossed this year.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm serious. The planet, the planet doesn't need us. We need the planet.
Absolutely.
it'll shake us
True.
up. Like we talked about, like a bad case of fleas. 6 months
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
we didn't even know we were here.
People are like, "Oh, it's going to be the end of the world." No.
No.
We know
Yeah,
the
Tina.
humans, but the world is going to be just fine. It'll keep going.
I say the same thing about Kalimnos. We don't need Kalimnos. Kalimnos needs us, right? That's
And the funny thing you say about Kalimnos and Foti is we've been bad mouthing GMOs so much, but Foti is a genetically modified organism, so just try not to say too much.
Oh my God, y'all are funny.
Unfortunately, I'm surrounded by impurities like Angela and
Oh, Angelo.
good one, Monty. Good one.
Well, like this is amazing. Before we wrap up though, Foti, do you have
yes, we'd
question
love
you
to
wanna
we'd love to ask you a question.
Sure.
Listening to your story, very inspirational. And as Angela had mentioned before, it takes a special breed of individuals to make things happen no matter where you are. Your timeline shows that you set out for certain things in life, and sometimes you take a different route and it brings you somewhere that you never imagined, but you're still enjoying the ride. What advice would you give to our younger audience that's listening today that have a dream that they want to pursue?
Wow. I would say the biggest thing, if I could go back and tell my younger self to realize you're not creating music, you're not creating vodka, you're creating yourself. You're becoming a different version of yourself. And every time you have a challenge, it's an opportunity to become, and I told you my cat's a singer, to become another version of yourself and to test yourself and to go on this route. Like you're saying, it's like, you're ready for that. Okay, what are you going to throw at me? And now I've realized when I'm feeling that way, feeling a little overwhelmed or like, what am I going to do? Embrace it and be like, this is exciting. This is an opportunity to embrace a new part of myself and rise to the occasion instead of be afraid of it or be stressed out. Like as a songwriter. So I finally finished my record. I finished my record. I went through 3 different producers to get it done. And then I finished it after 2.5 years because I was working full time. We go to mastering and literally the world shuts down during that out of nowhere. So after all this, it's a very weird time. It didn't feel appropriate to release the record. We were going to release the record and Vodka at the same time. I had no idea a pandemic was upon us. Yeah. So, but through that, I'm like, I felt in my heart and my gut to keep writing music because my music is, I feel like, inspirational. I like the song that I wrote during the pandemic. It's called The Magical Ones. It's like, it's about how powerful we are, the power we have within us. Tap into that and you can do anything you want. And, especially like with films, it's always a superhero coming to save you. Or, during the pandemic, they're telling us how weak we are. You got to stay home and be afraid. I'm like, no, I've got power in me, God-given power, universal power, whatever you want to call it. And I can, not just survive, but I can thrive and create the world I want, but I have to tap into that. And I think that, everybody needs to tap into that within them. You've just been conditioned out of it. And so I'd say for a young person, realize you're going to have a lot of opposition thrown at you, but always check in here and in here and be true to yourself. And don't be afraid of the challenge. It's making you better. Everything I've gone through, I probably wouldn't change anything. Even every asshole I met, everybody, I've had people sing my lyrics.
She's looking at you.
all the people from Kalimnos, you know, like.
Now you got her on it.
Tina's in on the joke.
But all of it, I probably wouldn't change anything because it got me here. It got me to, you know, create the record that I always wanted to create. I have a vodka, and my whole life prepared me for this moment, and I never had no idea it would culminate into something that I didn't see. Like I feel like my story is also inspirational to other people. It's like, what's going on in your day job, your daily life? You're picking up skills. It's getting you prepared for something that you may not be aware of yet. And, you know, all the times I was bartending, waitressing, angry that I should be playing my music. Thank God it turned out this way, because I'm completely independent. I own everything, and I can do it on my terms and make the vodka the way I want to make it, make my music the way I want to make it, meet awesome people like y'all who are supportive. And
Oh,
just
yeah.
keep going on the, and just keep, talking about what's important, like the planet, and our health and everything we're doing, and connecting with like-minded people. And it's not about the money. It's not about the greed. I feel like we're going into a new state of consciousness with the whole planet where everyone can win. We're not going to win on the same levels, but people can thrive, and other people don't have to be destitute. It doesn't have to be win-lose. Like, we can all live a good life and pursue what we want.
Bravo.
Very good point.
Working together instead of trying to steal or take away and be, winner takes all. No, I don't want to live in that world.
Now, Tina, you like the number 2.
I do.
Yeah.
It's the number 2.
I don't know if you're aware of it.
I don't know.
What does 22 mean to you?
Oh, well, I'm born on the 22nd,
You're born on the 22nd.
March 22nd.
Stop this.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, you launched something on those
Oh,
big
yes.
numbers.
Yes, I did. Yes, I forgot about that.
And this is a weird thing. When
Yeah.
I'm reading it, there had to be a connection. Now, I'm not a medium, but I'm not medium. But this is from the other side of the gypsies in my family.
Are you going to read my coffee, the Greek coffee next?
I do read it. I do
Oh,
read it.
sweet.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I do read it. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's another episode. But
Okay.
I do read it. And the thing is, there's a connection for you there. And now you said your birthday's at 20. I'll tell you why, because my birthday's 22 also.
What? Come on.
Oh,
When?
June.
Ah, okay. Wait, you Cancer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
getting
Awesome.
deep.
Cancer,
Getting deep.
22. And that's why I knew the thing, 22.
Yes. So the day my vodka was available with Southern Wine and Spirits was February 2nd, 2022. Yes.
To
Yeah.
22.
Yep. Yeah.
Angela, you're freaking me out now.
Dude, I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
No, but I said there's got to be
Yeah.
that there's that connection to it.
Yeah.
It's numerology, but it's a good number.
Yeah.
It's a
Totally.
good number. The 20, the twos.
The twos.
But it's anyway.
I'm
I
gonna
like
look
A
that.
little spiritual here. It's good.
Tina, can you, although we'll list everything in the show notes and the podcast notes, can you give everybody a website? They could listen to you. They could learn more about the vodka. They could just get their fill of everything.
Yeah, sure. The vodka website is just tinasvodka.com. And there's a page dedicated to my music on that website, but then my music is on tinakarras.com. It's Karras.
Awesome.
So you can find it pretty easy.
Everybody, we want everybody watching and listening to definitely check you out. I mean,
Thank you.
music wise, go to our website. Actually, we'll have, as far as I spoke to Fote, we're going to have some of your music featured as well.
Great.
And then on the other side, the vodka, I stand by it. I'm 100% a fan. 100% amazing product. You got to send some to Angelo or drop it off because he needs to taste this. It's so good.
Taste it.
And we just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Thank you for telling us your story. I want to say thank you very much to Fote. And as always, Angelo, you are the man. Thanks for the time you spend with us. And thanks everybody out there for watching and listening. And Tina, once
Tina,
again,
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Tina. Thank you.
And we'll see you all next time. Have a great night, day, week, everything. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.